gather the information so we can figure out the property side. For me, one of the things that was very important, we get calls and somebody says, "Can I have a pool?" I was like, "Yeah, you can have a pool." And it's like, so how much? Well, I have to come and take a look at your site and figure out what's going to take and all that. So we build it so that I do a lot of my sales calls with this. I say, "You have a minute to come online? Let's just go take a look at your property and all that. I will show you what that's going to look like." There is a big opportunity here. And this is, so my background, I'm an electrical engineer. I used to run a tech company before. I was 300 employees back then. It was scaled, right? Now, this company, InQI, is going to be a startup. It is a startup already. It was going to be one that is going to raise funds and grow as other AI companies will, hopefully, right? That's my plan. But for that, I need everybody's help. And not only I need your help, but there is something in it for you, and I'll explain to you what that means. This data, we hired consultants to help us find what's called a market fit, to find out where it fits. Basically, in this industry that we are in, AEC, not the C part of it, C is the construction, right? In this industry that we are in, $160 billion annually is spent on pre-construction services. This is the real data from multiple sources, right? What are those? Those are site plans, measurements, engineering design, designers, civil calculation, structural calculation. These are all pre-construction services. So I have a plan and I can go get a permit, therefore construction can start, right? So it is $160 billion in the US only, right? Now, timelines. We all know when we start doing a design, the timelines, it gets expanded and expanded. Why? Because we have to get measurements. Okay, that takes time. Then we have to do the design, and we have to get the client to talk to us. Okay, they have their own schedule. Okay, that takes time. By the time we get into cycles, something that if everything worked together should take 2 to 4 weeks, maybe a month, it's now 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, right? Because of all these challenges. We are looking at it to try to remove this, as much as we can. Not all of it. There's some dependencies otherwise, right? This is an important part. Compliance, right? We can design everything and anything you can imagine of, but if it's not buildable, what's the matter? It doesn't do anything, right? There's tons of AI out there that you can go and say, "Give me a contemporary, house that looks, this way," and the generate pop for you, right? Generates the renderings for you. Are those buildables? No, not even. It's a concept. It's a board. We are going to, and I will show you in a few minutes, we are going to enable you guys to use InQI to render based on data, right? So when you're rendering it with a click, it's as if you hired a render person, you had a model, you put all the things together, and you can do it in seconds. That's the part that we're doing. Unknown cost. What is the unknown cost? We all know our cost. X amount of dollars per hour. It takes 10 hours, 20 hours. We know that. The client knows that, right? Because that's where they sign the design contract. Do they know what's going to cost to build a swimming pool on a hillside? No. Right? Do they know the coping of this one costs this way and so much of patio costs that way? No. You don't know it either because we don't know all the details yet. It's not on a plan. I don't know how much, what you want, right? And when as designers, you probably are uncomfortable putting a price on it. There is a budgetary thing you can discuss about and those sort of things. But more often than not, even with anything we see, there's a sticker shock when the homeowner gets, "Oh my God, this project is going to cost me this much." And no matter what you say throughout, every time in the meeting, "I told you it's going to cost more," but you keep saying you want this requirement, they don't remember any of that, right? They only remember that I told you it was only $20,000 budget. Yeah, but you talked about $200,000 here. It doesn't work that way. So if we are designing things within InQI, or InQI is helping you design it, what do I know? I know the sizes, I know the objects, I know everything about it, right? I know all those things. And therefore, in the releases that we work with, we can click and say, "Give me a budgetary price." Now it knows everything to give you a budgetary price based on the zip code you're in. Because we're going to have data from different locations and so forth. It's going to say this concrete is going to cost you this range, right? Now, it gives you the ability to talk to the person, that the client, to make sure that they are in the zone. They are in the zone going in, right? That's one of the critical parts about it. So we build InQI. It is automated deep data analysis. So we have this started in 2023, a year ago from now. We have gone in and sampled 2 or 3 different dozen data sources to see what's the best ones we can get, get this stuff in. We overlay it. We know where the property is at. We know the zip code. We know the address. Therefore, we should know all the building codes related to that object. So that's part of it, right? And it's not going to make a decision for you, but you don't have to go run to the city of Los Altos and look at the codes and say, okay, what does this mean? It will bring you to screen. This is what it means because this is the pool related code for the city of Los Altos, that sort of thing. And then complete cost transparency, right? Now, it enables us as designers, as we talk to the client, not to surprise them, right? Bad news early is always good news, right? This is the motto. Bad news early is always good news. If they know the costs keep going up, they can make a decision, either put money in it or take stuff out, but they're not going to waste your time, doing things, and they're not going to come back and get angry at you for doing what they ask you to do, from that, right? Competition is out there. There's no question about it, right? These guys are systems that many of you guys might use. Will they have some AI in it? Probably. Everybody's doing that about, right? Those guys on top are doing more AI stuff. We feel they have an upper, right? But this is obviously, I'm prejudiced about how I position this. I put myself up there. So competition is out there, but we are a tiny one, but we're going to do better. And let me explain to you what that means. Advantages, we talked about it. We are starting from an address, which is the first thing that you do in your business. You go and say, what's your address again? I have to come and see the site. I got to look at it. I got to figure it out. We start from an address, right? We collect all the information about it from the address. Compliance is an important part because we got to make sure that Los Altos Hills has awkward setbacks. So we got to make sure that we consider those things. As we do things. When a client talks to us, they're assuming that we know everything, and I know that I don't know everything. But they assume, well, how come you didn't know there's 20 feet setback on the back that you can't put it? Well, I have to go look it up. I don't know all this stuff, right? Detailed and efficient and cost modeling, that's the stuff that we got. This is the part that I wanted to bring you to attention, and this is what we have done. This idea came in 2023. We actually spent plenty of time before we did anything, and we filed a patent on it with a patent law firm, and they feel that we have an opportunity to get patent. From that. It's going to take time for the patent to be assigned. The foundation was released in June. I was on a call with many of you guys and showed that. The designer was released last week. There were some releases and stuff, and you guys had seen some problems because we keep changing it underneath, but I was clear there's going to be very stable now, as stable as it can be, after we develop in this thing. We are working on Architect Edition, and what Architect Edition is going to do is going to design an entire house for you. Right? There's an entire house, rooms, floor plans and all that. It's going to render, it's going to put costs and all that. It's going to take us at least 3 or 4 months to get something that we can present, on that side. What are we focusing on that? Now, what do we need? Help us and be part of InQI. And what I mean by that is this. The system is free. So every time you log in the first time, either with a Google type account or with a business account, you get 5 users. Now, if you run out of 5 users, you can email me or email Kimia, and she will give you more users, 5 addresses. She'll give you more addresses. Or you can delete your account and create an account and get 5 more addresses. I created a backdoor just to I don't know, you might be working on a weekend and you say you run out of credits and, I need more, just delete and create. Well, why would I care? It's free, right? So we are making it free because we need your feedback. And I'll show you a bunch of stuff that came together because of the feedback that you guys have given us in the design release. Promote it where you can. One of the folks here, I don't know who it was, promoted us to talk to Merritt College, for the Chris and the others, and we did. And it was great. We got a lot of feedback. Out of it came like a handful of features that we implemented. right, in the system. The feedbacks are the most important part. The system has been developed for quite some time. I'm the tester, you're looking at the tester. And if there's a problem, tell me, right? Should be a note. If you come up with an idea and say, actually, I was talking to Jackie from San Diego this morning. Last time I talked to her about maybe a month and a half ago, she was saying that she likes to also see the bird's eye view of the picture so she can kind of see the angles. And we didn't have it. I was like, oh, I can do that. Now it's in the system. So if you come up with, say, Ali, this thing that does this, maybe it can do that, and then I can use it, sure, I'll put it in, right? Now, you might be thinking, okay, he's going to get all the stuff from us, and then he's going to come charge us for it. Yes, I am. I'm not going to lie about it. But there is a thing that we are doing. In 2025, completely transparent, in 2025, we have to raise capital for InQI to continue. There's no other way. You guys know how expensive it is to find developers and stuff here and so forth, right? There is no other way. Today, with this release that we have done, I've hired an outside agency. I'm opening up InQI to the entire country, right? The entire US is going to have access to it, and we're going to promote it to architects and designers and builders, right, to come into the system. Whoever gets in the system and start using the system and start giving us feedback can be an equity owner of InQI, right? And what I mean by that is this. Let's say everything is fine and you guys have worked with it and so forth. A project itself, I'm thinking it will cost between $100 to $200. That's so next time when it becomes licensed in 2025, if you want to buy a InQI project, let's say $200 bucks, right? We have worked with this company, and I will send you this. This is called Start Engine. This Start Engine is a company that does crowd investment, right? 6 million active users are there. They're going to take us into their world. It's like a fund me, but for businesses, in a way, right? So you say that I want to have, I'm going to buy one license. $200, let's say in March, right? When you buy it, and we're going to figure out the mechanism, you're going to get 200 and X percentage, let's say $220 worth of equity in the company, right? And they will manage it. They will report it to you. They will manage it. They'll create the fund. They will get all that stuff. They will manage it. So what you are doing now is going to help me get to where I need to be with the product. And if you decide at that point that you want to buy licenses because it benefits you, you're also buying equity into the company at a pre-seed level. Where in this area, everybody wants to be there, right? Nobody gets to any pre-seed level these days. Everybody gets in there where things are really expensive. Usually I get in those and I lose money. So this is what is in it for, and this is going to be communicated to everyone. Let's say we turn this thing on for the funding and so forth in March, as an example. Whoever gets in from now, or has been in there until March and provided us feedback, we're going to come up with a formula and say, okay, Robin, you provided us 300 feedbacks and we created 20 future, so your $100 is worth $125, right? Because you were in there, right? So it is value that you're giving us by using the system. I know the system is hopefully giving you value, but I want to put it back. I want to put it back. Those formulas are being worked on. As we get closer, we'll announce them. Okay? Questions so far? No? All right, let's talk about InQI. All right, a few things about InQI, and before we do about 10 minutes and we go there. Now, I have a bad habit of going directly to it, but I ask you guys not to do what I do. That's what I tell my daughter. So go to the site itself, and then you click on sign in or login. It takes you to the same page. You could do it directly. The reason is that we might be changing some code in the back that if you jump directly to it, you might not get it. Right? So that's the point. What you see on the screen is live. So far, 1,400 properties have been scanned or processed, and over 2,100 acres of land has been scanned and processed. I want people to start thinking about this. Part of it is all testing and stuff, obviously. But if I was supposed to go to Woodside and see a project, and I didn't, I just typed it in here, and I saved 1 hour of my time. I didn't get in the car, I didn't drive up. I didn't dirty the air, all that, right? And I could do it at 5 o'clock at night and figure things out, right? So this number will go up tremendously high. This works throughout the US, doesn't work in any other country yet. It just works throughout the US, right? So two things. If you haven't been in the system or created a login last week, please go to either create an account, and unless you have a Google account, a Gmail or a G Suite, right? When you create an account, you get refreshed. The databases become refreshed, therefore you get access. Now, I have a user account. I have Google. You go with Google. It's the easiest one. These are our Google accounts. I log into the system. So a few things have changed here. Let's talk about it from the first. So new project is new project. You always start with an address, and then you start working it. But let's talk about the rest of it. Existing projects are things that you worked on. Now, anytime you do an output, please save it down, right? As a AutoCAD or PDF or whatever, save it into your hard disk. The reason I say that is this is being actively developed. If it happens that I update something, at the end of the day, you want that export, that is there. So that's one thing. Asset gallery, I'll show you what that is, because what we have done is that we can go to a project, and I'll show you in the live demo. We see a project, we go to a project, we look, oh, that's the sewer line, take a picture of it. We go, oh, this one is the electric panel, take a picture of that, right? And we take pictures of things, right? That's, our phone is always like this, when you go there, it's, oh, that's my dog, and that's we go in there, right? We are making it so that you can go and tag the site plan and put the picture in it, right? So I will show you what that is. It could be a picture, it could be a PDF, like a pattern of a paver or whatever you want. So everything is in one place. That's a digital, everything in one folder, right? Plan collections. Now, we internally use PlanMaster. You guys all use PlanMaster. This is not PlanMaster. And the reason it's not PlanMaster is we have to open it throughout the country. So we have to have certain API capabilities and doing these things. This is integrated with over 10,000 plants, right? So that it works. Now, what it works is this. You define the plans that you want. Maybe it's a project-based, location-based, theme-based, or whatever you want. So I'm going to go, for example, for this demo, I'm going to call this one APLD demo plans. I'm going to type that in, the color of it, and create it. So what you see is that it created this container for me, right? Now I'm going to go and add a plan to it. It's going to come back and list those things for me. So I'm going to say for this one, I want minimum watering amount. It will sort through based on those things. You have the hardness code, so I'll select this one. And the screen resolution is a little rough, but let's do that. So I selected it, and I'm going to say this is a 5-gallon one. You can associate what you want it to look like on the plan, right? So I can say this one, this is the icon associated with it, right? And I'll put it in, it becomes one of the plans in that category. If you click on it, it will bring you every information about it. All the things that you need to know, health plans, all that stuff about it, right? So this is a plant collection, and you build your plant collection unlimited, whatever you want to do. There is a concept of clients, and I'm going to demo this live with, I have a phone here, but I have, those who have, I hope the phone number is going to be targets. I have Tina's phone number. They're all going to run out. So the idea is that I can share a project with you guys, and you can, with your phone, with your tablet, you can see it in 3-dimensional zone. You can comment on it, and even offline, and tell me, oh, I think we should do this over here a little bit differently. I see it afterwards. I see it immediately, right there from that. I'll show you that. So this, and you define, you could be co-developing a project with your builder, with other designers. There are people collaborating on a project. You bring them in the project, right? Now, let's go and one more thing that we do here is we have enabled, you can change this logo, right? So you can put your own logo and stuff, and you can change these, which basically means that when you get an export, it will brand it to you. So you have the brand to yourself, right? And in case you want to get around the system, you go to accounts, you go delete my account, and you go back in, you get 5 more. Right? So that's where he's at, right? It's actually not a bad idea if you run into problems. It's because it's a refresh, right? Now, who wants to give me an address? Nobody?
My home.
Your home. Go ahead. What is it?
362
362
North Bayview.
North Bayview?
One word.
Oh, one word. Atherton?
No, just the top one. I wish it was.
So it will zoom into the location, so you find the location. And this is only, some people go here and click. No, I'm basically telling you this is the one you want, right? Because as soon as you click on here, it will burn 1 credit, right? It just burned 1 credit. Now what is happening is getting all the data sources. Now I know this, let me get this, let me get this, let me get this, let me get this. And you would notice that once the data comes in, which doesn't take that long, it basically puts things together so that you can now open it up. So now I have this, I'll open it up. This is the house, and one of the things that I do, and when I do webinars and stuff, I talk about it. Everything you get a survey, you get a measurement, manual measurement, you get anything you get, verify it, right? It's the same thing here. What I'm giving you the ability to do is this picture, if I go to preferences, this was taken September 2nd, right? So this is the latest picture. And on her property, I have all these historical pictures that I can go back to. That means that if I wanted to, what I should do first, I go in and I look at what I do individually is this is actually good lineup with the property lineup. And the reason I say that is this. This is a 5-foot setback, this red line, and it seems to be in the right place. The house is not into it, right? And I look at it on the bottom part, and I think what is happening here is this is questionable a little bit, right? But I have to find out if there is a fence or something I can align with. I don't see anything here. Let's go to maybe 2023.
So I would line it up with the sidewalk edge.
Oh, okay, there we
There's
go.
a house strip, which means you own the property up to the
Okay.
sidewalk.
And this is the important part, right? So if I figure out how to work the mouse stuff. So what do we do when we get a project? After we do this stuff, we go to the site and we look around and we say, oh, that's the fence over there. This is the mailbox over here, right? You should be able to see these in the screen, right? So, or your homeowner, you know what exactly it is. So I click once, I can move the whole thing, and this is true for anything that's highlighted. I click twice, I can move points, right, from there. Is the back okay, or is the back seems to be?
The whole thing should shift.
The whole thing should shift. Okay, so if the whole thing should shift, click once, move the whole thing over.
Too far.
Here?
Nope.
Here?
A little bit more to the right.
Here?
Yep.
There we go. And then we go in and save. Everything shifts with it, right? Because everything now is in that order. Now let's talk about what is here. We have changed the menu a little bit, so we know that this belongs to you. Verified. Okay, so we have all the information about what zone it is and all that stuff, information that is on the property, right? So that's that. Then we go in and take a look at a bunch of other things that we have. And these are the things that came in. I will show you 3D a little bit later because that's the important part of it. On the side there's a Copilot, which I'll show you in a little bit. I'm going to try to put an ADU for you in your property. This came out from the Merritt College. This is the wind plot. And the data is there. So it basically shows from that point, where is the wind happening? And also we have a simulation for it too, right? So you have that information. This is the same information, I think we get it from NASA. It's the same information that the data is available there, right? We also have in the system the sun position property, right, for this given property. So you have these things, and also we have simulations of it, which I'll show you in a second. Now, I'm going to develop a couple of things here just so that I can show you some of the features, and I'll be quick about it. Now, this thing is called the layers, and you also have access to it here. You can enable it, but I always go here and enable the layer. For this illustration, I'm going to do sketch. I'm going to do home ADU. Do you want to pull?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to give you a pull. All right. And I'm going to take it to all my demos. So I'm going to do a pergola and a pull. I'm going to enable these two as well, line object, and I'm going to enable the hardscape. Now, what are these enablements? The image that we get has artificial intelligence on top of it. So for example, when I did the hardscape, it will go and recognize what is hardscape material, right? Now, I can always draw it myself too, right? But the idea is to not only to help me see, Copilot, help me see, but also the idea is that if I define an object, now I can talk to that object. And now in the system I can say, there's a hardscape here aligned with the hardscape here, right? So now I know what is that. Now, since we have defined it, I'm going to, and everything is the same. I can click on this one. This is the driveway. It seems like that because the box is in there. I'm going to call this the driveway and save it, right? It's saved in driveway, but I don't see it here. So what I know, and this is one of the good things about it that we have to do, is that in the system, let me get to, I gotta get to here. The resolution on the screen is a little tough. I think it's this one. Nope, Copilot, not it. This one.
I'm good with sci-fi.
Yeah, I have not been. That's true, but the problem is it doesn't go away. There you go. So what I do, good.
I've run into this before.
There you go. So what I do is on the hardscape is that I will basically go in and say, label an area. I can do measurements and I can do other things. I enable what displays to me, right? So if I go here, now it says driveway is 760 square foot based on what's highlighted, right? Now, I'm going to say you have probably public sewer, right? So I'm going to use the point object. I'm going to say manhole is there, as an example. Further down, let's say here. Or up, down, here. There you go. Okay. Our tag is coming. So what is it? I want to say this is the sanitary manhole. Need to get permit to connect. Now this is where this asset comes into place, right? I click on it. What do you want as asset? Maybe I want to take a picture of it, right? I go in here and on my desktop, I've already preloaded this thing. And let's say sewer manhole. And I save it. So what happens is it puts a picture next to it, right? And when I click on the picture on the side, it will pick it up. I don't know what my mouse is acting up. But let's oh, something's happening. Let me delete that. Okay, there we go. Now, this here is also used to mark, for example, a mark here, and it goes in and it says, what is this? I'm going to say this is my downspout. Mark that as downspout. I can mark all the things in there, right? Now, let's go towards, I have to get this out. I'm going to put an ADU, but before I do that, oh, this is, I'm going to do that. So ADU. So I'm going to place an ADU. So I click on ADU. I say where you want it. I simply draw a box. I can move it around, right? We have one defined, which is one of ours, and it could be others, or you can select no definitions. You just put the ADU for me. So I'm going to use this one. It's going to size it to what I want. It's a big ADU. And I'm going to say I want to align it with, this is 5, but I'm going to put it into 5, right? So now I have an ADU. Now we're going to put in a small swimming pool, for that, right? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put in a swimming pool. I can do polygon if it's free base, or I can do rectangle. So I'm going to put rectangle. I can draw it, and then you can select from one of the pre-engineered ones, or don't select an option. And I'm going to align it. Okay. Now I'm also going to give you a pergola. These pergolas are really nice, and I'm going to put the pergola here. I'm going to draw it, but I can select one of these. I'm going to select this is that. And you notice that it has louvered, sky view, all those things that you can adjust. I'm going to say this has 10 feet, tall, all those kind of settings you can do. And then I'm going to adjust it and put it into place. I'm going to save it. Now a few things starts here that are kind of nice, right? So I have done the design, and basically on the design I put 3 elements in. Now maybe I want to collaborate with you guys. You ready, Tina? You have your phone ready? Okay. So you see what I have. What I have on the projects. Let me just go back in. Hold on. I need to get my menu back. There it is. I couldn't see it. I'm going to go to sharing. I'm going to enable sharing. I'm going to enable collaboration. Right? Now I'm going to bring Jane, but for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link. Right? I'll copy the link. Now, to my phone or to any other system, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Tina. Basically, a link. She should receive it shortly. Yep. So open the link. Now, what Tina is looking at is basically this 3D view. Yeah. Now, you can do the iPhone things, like with 2 fingers, zoom in, zoom out, turn it, all that stuff, right? This is a 3D simulation of exactly what this data is like, right? So I can zoom in, I can move it around, but look what I have here. The screen's a little small, so it's tough to show, but let's look at it. I can slice it. I can look at different angles. At a different angle that I am, I can try to move it around, and I see the ADU and all that stuff that is there. I can try to look at the bird's eye view. It looks better on the bigger screen. But when I move it around, the system will move with me. So I have the bird's eye view that I can look at and stuff, right? Now, if I wanted to find out where things are at, I can basically now go in and do a sun simulation. We are in winter. I can do a sun simulation to find out where things are going and back and forth, right? I can also, and this is data driven, right? Now, some of it is hypothetic, and what I mean by that is this: I have a weather view, and I can make it snow. We know it's not going to snow. Maybe we will see what's going to happen, right? So there is a whole bunch of these things that are available. Now, what I want you to do, Tina, if you can, if you're still the same, on top of your little picture, there's like a little pin.
Yep.
Click on it. Then you can click anywhere, maybe click next to parallel, whatever you want. Click on it, and it's going to tell you the note.
Okay.
Put a title, say, plants.
Yep.
Maybe you can have some plants here in the description, and then OK it to save it. So now she's collaborating with me. I could be collaborating with all of you guys, right? And it will basically know all the details that's going to happen here. After you save it, let me know. Okay, now, she has put a note here, and she could be, in San Diego. I'm talking to her in San Diego. What's going to happen is this. On the system, once it gets refreshed, and I gotta go back into it, sorry. I should have, I did it right.
Is there error?
User error, probably. Where'd you put it?
I don't know where I put it, I just tapped it.
Okay. I
Was I
mean,
supposed to drag it somewhere?
no, come here. Come up front. Let me do it for you.
I got an F in InQI already.
All right. So basically, what you do is, so you go in, right? You click on it.
Yep.
You click here, and you say test, new plants, and then you go okay.
Yeah, I put something somewhere. Oh, was
And
that
that
one?
goes in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So now what you see is user error. Now what you see, now what you see here is this popped in, right? You see that this popped in. I click on it, and basically what it shows, I gotta get back this in. New plants, right? So basically now I'm collaborating. Now what does that mean? Remember we talked about plants? I can go in here now. I can go to my plants. Remember I created APLD plants? I can go here and I can say I want to put a single one here. So there's a single one here and a single one there. It puts it in based on the size. I can go here and say I want to have draw it on a line. You know, I put one between the pergola and the side, and it basically splits it, right? And I have plant list now. I have all this stuff about it, all those things, right? Now, all these things we did not to replace Vectorworks or any of that. We did it so that you can basically build like a model thingy and say, now I can take it to build it more, right? They can do something more. But everything is now to scale where it's supposed to be, right? You know, in that area. Now, one thing that I didn't show, which I use a lot, you know, on the side is this. I'll show you a little bit of it, and that is, let me, no, I'm not going to put plants on the house. Did I enable sketch? Yeah, I did. Okay. So, thank you, Tina. So now on the sketch, I'm going to say, okay, maybe you want to change that concrete to pavers as an example, right? So I'm going to do a polygon. I'm going to go in here and it comes up and say, what is it? You want texture or you want colors? I'm going to say I want texture. I have all these textures now, right? So I can go and I have decking, I have plants, you know, I have all these things, right? I can say, oh, you want this as a paver, right? So I can build a sketch to go to the client and say, is this something you're looking at? You know, and we have a lot of work to do still, but it's something you're looking at, right? So this enables me to communicate with them in more and more and more in areas that come in. At the end of the day, what we want to do here is we want to go in to the export, and we can do a PDF, we can do a CAD file, right? There's a screenshot because I'm not going to take your time. We can do that. Now we have this thing called landscaping report. We are working on what is known as sheet 1 and sheet 2, right? So we can do all the calculations. So when you go into giving it to a permit, we can probably do real calculations. Everything is math, you know, in those things that we can do. The idea is to give that ability to you to export it out so you can do whatever else you want to do. I consider all of architects and designers and engineers to be artists, right? You have an art where things go and look nice, right? This is what you do. How you do it is based on logic. You know, I can't put a pool on top of the house and put it in here, right? So that's what you do. We are enabling you to do that. So once you export that stuff out, and this actually came out today too. So talking to Jackie, there's a company called Morpheus, I guess you guys use, right? For sketching. Yeah. So she's putting me in touch with the owner. So potentially I'm going to have an integration of this and that. So you guys can do all the SketchUps from there, you know, if you want to do, right? Now, basically going there, I'm going to request 2 outputs. I'm going to request third one too. Third one is not that good, but it will get there. So while that's going on, closing comments, and we'll show you this. There is a lot there, right? And literally because so this is my day job. You know, I come here and go to the job sites, and those who work with me know I get up 4:30 in the morning every day, and you know at 6:30 I go meet with the guys at the yard. We get the projects going, we get construction, all that stuff going. My not the day job, it could be 6 o'clock at night or midnight, is this. This is what I do. This is why I need your help to do.
Answered my emails.
That's why I don't have any hair. So this is, and it's 7 days a week. Literally, it's 7 days a week, right? Now, this is what I need you guys to use the system, help me out, and there is benefit for you guys by using it. One, but future equity is the other one. Now let's look at this. So this was the plan, and basically it is the plan that we decided. If we have put in any of the objects that were one of ours, it would have shown all the selected to do drafting. I hate Adobe. It would have showed all of the drafting parts, the related structural stuff, if it was an object that was there. AutoCAD, I don't have it, but it's a CAD file. Now, what questions came out on AutoCAD, and Bedad helped me answer it. When you export in AutoCAD, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you export in AutoCAD, you have to scale it afterwards, right? It doesn't come in the scale. I got Robin to confirm it as well. So when you bring in AutoCAD, there's a lot of data there. Choose the data that has scale on it, has numbers on it. Scale it, then it's to scale, right? In the PDF is different. I can print it out a PDF. Now, this one is a screenshot one. I like it. I use this a lot when I go to talk to customers. It's a site plan with your pictures under it, but it is to scale. So then I can take this to the client and say, well, this one, take notes, stuff like that, right? Now, closing comments. Thank you for taking the time to come here. Now, right around the corner, there is a very nice Mexican restaurant called, which just opened up about a couple of months ago. We eat there a lot. It's good. So there's a table ready for us. We're going to walk over there. I forgot to tell you that code 9346 is a very important code here in this office because that's the bathroom code. So it's right around the corner in this hallway if you guys want to go there. But the restaurant also has the bathroom as well. So in closing comments, we spend, and my entire team does, a lot trying to make this happen, right? And that's for everyone here in my team that helps me with this. This is their second job, right? Why we do that is we're using it. We use internally. We benefit from it internally. And because we are using it so much, at the same time, we come up with all these ideas. Oh, this will help me. This will help me, right? But I don't know. It's 5 of us, 6 of us. It's 20 some of you right now here. Use the system. Go into the system. One thing you're going to notice, I'm going to add in on top of it. There's going to be a button that says one-on-one. One-on-one is one-on-one with me, right? I'm going to block afternoon sessions. You go in my calendar, you click and say, I need half an hour with you. And based on what's available. And then I'll get on a Zoom call. You get on a Zoom call. We can work on a project together. This is what we want to do. What's happening, right? Because I need those feedback. So provide the feedback. Please promote it to others. You guys have a good network of builders. I don't compete with anybody. I love everybody to be part of the same team, right? I work with other builders, when it comes to, I have very good friends who are builders that build with me, in the projects. I want them to come in and look at the builder. You guys, we all have, you guys have all the builders you work with. Oh, this guy is doing this, go check it out. Maybe you help him, right? We need to bring more and more users in. For our project, so Bay Scenery is all paying this stuff out, right? So we appreciate you guys bringing projects for us to build. That's where that money goes, goes to this kind of stuff and all that. Pergolas and all that, consider us. We do a lot of those. We will send follow-ups, but one thing that I recommend you guys do on Instagram, and that's, well, I'm not logged in. That's nice. Instagram, at 4InQI or 4InQI? I can never figure it out. No? There we go. So our Instagram page, the lady in charge is here. Right? So it has a lot of information, but we put a lot of bits of information there. The other thing that you can find a lot on is on the YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, right now 60 videos. If you go to playlists, always marketing stuff, you'll find this one is a playlist, InQI Designer. So there are, if I go to it, I won't run it. That's me, by the way, over there. That's probably like 10 o'clock at night. Me sitting there. So you have all the different modules, for the visualization and modeling. So it's like a 2 minutes, 3 minutes how to do it, right? So there's a lot of information there. Subscribe to it, communicate with us and those areas. I feel strongly about the fact that this can be a very successful product, right? If we look into construction, what we see is this: things don't change much. The framers are framers, go to framing. Concrete guys are concrete guys, all that stuff. Things don't change. Software has been gobbled up by Autodesk and Vectorworks, and Revit is now Autodesk, and whatever you look is now Autodesk. I think SketchUp is also Autodesk, right? And when I open it, the master is there, bed on. He knows what to do. When I open it, I see icons. I click and things disappear. All that stuff that is there, right? So our goal is not to compete with any of those guys. We're not it. But we see the market where there is this zone of a simple tool that is data-driven that would enable everyone to get what they want, maybe 50% of it, maybe 20, maybe 60, depending on what they're doing, then take it into their world. And their world might be pen and paper. Doesn't have to be anything else. And then finish their designs and do that. The savings are there. I did Darish Winery, which is a winery up north. It's a 30-acre property. An owner, I know the owner, and I said, "What, you want a site plan?" It was like, "Yeah." I paid like $30-some thousand for it. So I did it on a system in about a minute. I give it to him. Right? So accuracy is as accurate as you want it to be. If you know your property, you go into client property, you see the sizes and adjust, is as accurate as it's going to be, right? But what you see is what your city has. So if you had gone with that to your city, they were looking at the same thing because we license it from them, right? We get that that from them. What is happening is many places where we place things, if we are not squeezing all the way to the corner to that inch of that 4 feet to put the ADU, and it's kind of in a safe zone, the city might be okay. Site plan is fine. You're not questioning the borders, right? So sometimes it just solves your problem, to do that, but it doesn't replace the survey. Now, what's going to happen in Architect Edition when it comes out? It's going to be doing modeling of rooms, multi-levels. Where is the bathroom? Where is the living room? All those things, right? It's going to be one-touch rendering. This was 3D modeling, right? But you guys know, when I have a model, I can render it. That's basically what the rendering is all about, right? So it's going to do 3D modeling like with Midjourney or DALL-E or those guys, right? We're not going to do that the rendering part, but we are going to inject into it so you can do rendering based on data, right? It's going to have the codes available to you, ICC codes and other things, right? And whatever else you think you need, if you communicate it with me and make sense, is going to be there, right? That's the bit. So the opportunity for you guys is help develop a tool that you can use on a daily basis. And if it's good for you to use on a daily basis, it's good for everybody else to use as well, right? In the same market. Any questions? Yes.
I saw there was some topography on there. How detailed is the topography?
It's as good as the city has. And so the city uses LiDAR data from US government. So when we have projects that have surveys, because we have to have it in this, they're fairly accurate on the sites. And the topography is also reflected in the modeling, so you can see elevation and stuff. Now, one thing that was also there, which I didn't, so if you click on an object like this, you notice that it has the cut and fill amount of it. Because it kind of, this is a pool, so it has the shape, right? So if I put in an ADU on a flat, it will be less. It will have cut and fill calculations and stuff in there. So it has all the data. So like I said at the beginning, the first level is data is there. Therefore, everything I do is on that data. I'm not just loosey-goosey going over here. No, I can, but it will tell me now you have one of the things on the AI component, and we can try that here. I'll use this one. So it's going to come up and say, on the Copilot, you have a choice of me helping you with these 3 items. These are 3 items that I understand, right? So I'm going to say, let's, on the building, which is the ADU, give me a smart floor plan. It's going to come up and say, okay, let me try to figure out, it's thinking. You should come back.
I also.
And so, well, it should come back and say from where. I want to say from the driveway. And after driveway, it's going to say, what do you want? And it basically builds my model. So it basically knows those things. So as she's my older sister, she's actually oldest of all 3 of us. So she can override everything. She has veto rights. So thank you for that. We're going to be in the dining area. So right around the corner, all the way to the back of the house. And they're all waiting for us. Let's go over there and we can talk more.